The Panama Canal is more than a waterway. It's a vital shortcut for global trade, saving ships weeks of travel. For over a century, it symbolized American power and engineering. Now, in September 2025, it's the stage for a new global rivalry. The United States, the canal's creator, faces a formidable challenger, China. This isn't a military standoff but a chess match of investments, diplomacy, and economic leverage. The canal connects the Atlantic and Pacific, making it a choke point for world trade. Control here means immense strategic and economic power. The US once held absolute control, but China's rise has changed the game. China sees the canal as crucial to its Belt and Road Initiative, and its influence is growing. The US, under President Trump's second term, is reasserting dominance, while China is now Panama's second-largest trading partner and the canal's top user. Both superpowers are vying for influence, but Panama is caught in the middle. Panama seeks to benefit from its geography, balancing historic US ties with Chinese opportunities. The government is trying to leverage this competition for its own gain, without being crushed by the giants. The choices Panama makes now will shape its destiny, and could set a precedent for other small nations. The world is watching to see who will win this new great game. To understand today's rivalry, we must look back. The US built the canal after supporting Panama's independence from Colombia in 1903, gaining control over the canal zone. Construction was a monumental feat, completed in 1914, cementing America's status as a world power. For decades, the canal was a symbol of US might, but Panamanians resented foreign control. Nationalist movements grew, leading to riots and protests, especially in 1964. After years of negotiation, the Torrijos-Carter Treaties of 1977 set the stage for Panama to regain control. The handover was gradual, culminating on December 31, 1999, when Panama assumed full sovereignty. For the US, it was the end of an era. For Panama, the fulfillment of a national dream. Panama proved itself a capable steward, expanding the canal in 2016 for larger ships. But with sovereignty came new opportunities and new global players. The door was now open for others, especially China, to enter the scene. The canal's legacy is now a battleground for influence, not just a feat of engineering. Panama's journey from colony to controller set the stage for today's contest. The world's eyes are once again on this narrow strip of land. The next chapter is being written now. As Panama took control, China's economic boom was reshaping global trade. The canal became essential for moving Chinese goods to the Americas and importing resources from Latin America. China's strategy was patient, invest, build, and embed itself in Panama's economy. In the late 1990s, Hong Kong-based Hutchison Whampoa secured long-term concessions to operate ports at both ends of the canal. This gave China-linked companies control over the canal's gateways. After Panama switched diplomatic recognition to Beijing in 2017, Chinese investment surged. State-owned enterprises built a convention center, a bridge, and a cruise terminal, and discussed a high-speed rail line. China quickly became the canal's top user and Panama's second-largest trading partner. For years, Washington paid little attention, focused elsewhere. But by the 2020s, China's presence was impossible to ignore. The chessboard was set for a direct confrontation of interests. The dragon had quietly arrived and now stood at the gates. The stage was set for a new era of competition. Trump's return to the White House in 2025 brought a dramatic shift in U.S. policy toward Panama. The administration saw China's growing footprint as a strategic threat, not just business. The Canal Doctrine emerged. Panama couldn't enjoy U.S. security while deepening ties with China. U.S. officials ramped up engagement, offering investment and warning against over-reliance on China. The U.S. assembled a consortium to buy the port rights from the Chinese-controlled company, a bold, direct move. The offer, worth billions, was pitched as a way to secure the canal's neutrality and align with U.S. interests. China condemned the move as economic coercion and a violation of Panama's sovereignty. Beijing warned Panama that caving to U.S. pressure could jeopardize future investment. Panama was caught in the crossfire, forced to weigh its options carefully. The stakes were higher than ever, with both superpowers demanding loyalty. The canal had become the center of a new doctrine and a new struggle. Panama's next move could tip the balance. The world waited for its answer. The ports of Balboa and Cristobal are now the focal point of the US-China showdown. These ports are vital logistics hubs, controlling the flow of goods through the canal. The US offer to buy them was a geopolitical statement, not just a business deal. American diplomats launched a campaign, promising transparency and security under US management. The message American control means reliability. Chinese control is a risk. Panama's government under President Mulino faces immense pressure from both sides. The US is Panama's largest trading partner and security guarantor. China is the canal's biggest customer. Nationalist groups and unions fear a return to foreign control. C.K. Hutchison, the Chinese-linked operator, says the ports aren't for sale, but Panama holds the final say. The government is studying the proposal, trying to avoid angering either superpower. The battle for the ports is a test of wills and a symbol of the new Cold War. Panama's decision will shape the future of its most strategic assets. The world watches as the standoff continues. For the US, Panama is about security and economics. The canal is critical for moving naval fleets and trade between oceans. US defense planners fear China could disrupt or monitor American movements if it controls the ports. Beyond military concerns, the canal is a symbol of US dominance in the Western Hemisphere. China's presence is seen as a direct challenge to that legacy. The canal is also vital for US trade, especially exports to Asia and imports from China. Washington worries about unfair advantages for Chinese shipping and the loss of influence. The push for American control is about security, commerce, and prestige. The canal's legacy is at stake, and so is America's image as a global power. Winning in Panama would be a major symbolic victory for the Trump administration. The stakes are as much about pride as policy. The outcome will echo far beyond Panama. For China, the canal is both an economic lifeline and a strategic prize. It's the main artery connecting Chinese factories to global markets. Control over Balboa and Cristobal secures China's supply chains and reduces costs. These investments are central to the Belt and Road Initiative, with Panama as the gateway to Latin America. A strong presence here lets China project influence across the region. The canal is the Golden Gate for China's maritime Silk Road into the Americas. Beyond trade, port control gives China access to shipping data and potential leverage in a crisis. Economic dominance also brings political influence, nudging Panama toward Beijing's positions. Challenging the US in its backyard is a powerful symbol for China. Defending its interests in Panama would be a major propaganda victory. For China, this is about more than trade. It's about rewriting the rules of global power. The canal is a test of China's rise. For Panama, superpower rivalry is both opportunity and danger. The government wants to profit from its geography while protecting sovereignty. Ideally, Panama would be a neutral hub for global commerce. But rising US-China tensions make neutrality harder to maintain. Competition brings investment offers from both sides. If Panama plays its cards right, it could upgrade infrastructure and boost its economy. But the risks are huge. Alienating the US could mean sanctions or loss of security. Angering China could mean lost investment and trade. Every decision is scrutinized by Washington and Beijing. Panama is trapped in a high-stakes balancing act. The challenge is to preserve autonomy and prosperity without being crushed. The world's giants are watching and waiting for Panama's next move. The stakes are national survival and future growth. Panama's choices will echo far beyond its borders. As 2025 draws to a close, the Panama Canal remains a tense flashpoint. The standoff over the ports is a symbol of the broader US-China rivalry. Three scenarios loom: an American victory, a Chinese win, or a prolonged stalemate. If the US prevails, it reasserts primacy and deals China a blow. If China wins, it signals a shift in global power and emboldens Beijing. A stalemate would leave Panama in perpetual limbo, with both superpowers jockeying for advantage. The canal is more than a waterway, it's a microcosm of the world's defining struggle. Can the US and China coexist, or is a collision inevitable? The answer may be written in these waters. The choices made here will shape the new world order.